pre-recorded from my garage. It's the show that's convinced some trainers only win because their dice rolls are rigged. This is SPL. With me today, of course, my wonderful tried and true friend, T. Watson, and we have a special guest, Phillip Chao, the current #1 trainer in SPL by a grand total of 36 points with an 81.25 win percent rating. He wanted to come and, after watching last week's show, had a few things to say to get off of his chest. There wasn't enough characters in his Twitter handle to be able to say all the things that he needs to say. But welcome, sir. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, nice. So, this is your first season, right?
Oh yeah, this is my first season.
How you liking it?
Oh, it is something. It is quite something.
Yeah?
I'm having fun. I started in November, so I haven't done anything like this before. So I'm having fun.
Yeah. The original idea behind this was exactly that, for the local trainers to have something fun to do. Regionals tend to be so overpriced and sometimes just hard to get to in general. So when we could create something that literally is doing exactly what you're saying, is just create a fun environment, a competitive environment for everybody, it's really, really neat. T, we've been a part of this since the very beginning. What was your first season like?
My first season was great, except not winning my own trophy.
T. Watson Memorial Trophy?
Yeah, the person who gets first place in points gets the T. Watson Trophy.
He's never won it.
I know, he's ranked 24 or something.
I was 3 points off.
That's not like a skill issue.
It was terrible.
It was really bad. But this is the thing. For the first couple of seasons, me and T actually were in the playoffs both times.
Yeah. With
the second season being our biggest opportunity to win, because we kind of like...
We had the best medical.
And then we just got paired up with really crappy...
No, I lost in time to Bike Moreno.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Literally because he was up in prizes.
Yeah.
While I have game in hand.
And was that the prizing? Was that the rules back then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was the way
it's just like play up, like Top Cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, the way it works is... that kind of explains it. But for anybody that's not aware, it's best placement gets the highest seeding plays the lowest seeding, and then it restructures itself every round. That entire thing, I was so mad because AJ was supposed to lose so that I could move ahead, and then he wound up winning a match that he shouldn't have won. Yeah. And I wound up getting paired against Andrew Saldana, who was at that time playing Kiram.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was just a stupid water deck that accelerated energy. So even behind my wheezings, and I screwed Corey over so bad.
Oh, we haven't even told him the best part. So that season we had trainer battles, and he and I both threw a trainer battle so we could get 13th and 14th just so we could get the seeding.
Oh my!
No, so we could get the seeding that we wanted.
Oh, okay.
So this is something that they ultimately was decided to not happen this season. Was trainer battles were every week, once per week at locals. You could go and say, "Hey, I want to battle you to a trainer battle." It was random. You could choose it at any time, but it had to be done at locals. Yeah. And you can wager up to 3 points. So what you could do is sit there and say, cool, that person's 3 points ahead of me or 2 points ahead of me. I will trainer battle them in order to knock them down while I go up.
Yeah.
From that. And what happened was people started figuring out really smart ways of being able to utilize trainer battles. Mike did an entire thing during season 3 that people were still mad about.
Yeah.
Hasn't been the same since the fallout.
It was great.
But so it was just a way for us to do it. So we sat down heading into season 2 at the end of the season, because that was back when we had 11 weeks. So this was almost 3 months worth of... We did it based off of fall, spring, winter, summer. But we sat there and we're like, if we throw this trainer battle, we both can make the playoffs on the back end of the bracket, so that we get pretty nice matchups heading in.
Because we knew what our opponents were playing.
We literally practiced with them the night before the tournament. But it was fun. So those are things that eventually maybe will come back, but just to kind of get everything back to running again. That made sense why it's not there. But trainer battles were super fun. But this season, I think a nice condensed version, 8 weeks, makes it a little bit more friendly. It is really, really cool. Anything that you anything that you like in particular, or anything that you're not a fan of?
I think there should be like some sort of catch-up mechanic, you know.
Yeah.
So like if you bank, so say like you can't go this week but then you go next week and you just absolutely fucking demolish. Like you should have like reserve points that you build up.
We did
like a reserve pool.
We had something called bye weeks. Yeah. So what would happen? So the idea was to create it almost like the NFL does their season, but we wanted to have players have bye weeks. So because our season was much longer back then, we would sit there and say, hey, Anthony T, whatever, I'm going to be off this week. I'd like to use this as my bye week. Kind of like putting in PTO at work.
Yeah.
But the idea would be cool. And every trainer was required to take a bye week. So what would happen is we would look at the entire schedule or the entire season, look at your lowest rated week or lowest
point week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we would drop that automatically. So if you went on a trip and you couldn't play a week, you zeroed out, so that would automatically get dropped. If you played all 11 weeks, we would just drop your lowest total. We actually had some people where we dropped 9-point weeks because they just did really well throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
I think that was that Mike that season?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, because he went to Disneyland twice or something like that. Not on league money.
Gotta remind the people.
Yeah, but it was still fun, but it was definitely something that was it was. I wish that was still around, because I feel like right now if you miss, because I've already missed 2 weeks because work and then my son's birthday.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's how much ground can I make up going forward?
Yeah.
Knowing that everybody else is so far ahead.
Yeah.
And then I had a terrible week too.
Well, yeah, no, bye weeks. I mean, that sounds good. It just seems very difficult or complicated to keep track of.
Yeah.
Because this player wants this bye week. Okay, you got to tell the admin puts it in.
But even then, that's where it started. It eventually grew to us just selling every trainer at the end of the season before final standings come out. We're going to drop your lowest week.
Yeah.
So, because what was happening was people were having a hard time communicating with us on when they weren't going to be there. So we just said, screw it. At the end of the season, drop your lowest weeks. We actually did it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it was such a long time.
And then we did also have a catch-up week.
Yeah. And then we had other bonuses too. During the first 2 seasons, we had something called the mid-season showdown, where anybody that participated in it got double points for their placement. Yeah. So what happened was we had like Goose, who was dead or like in the bottom. Yeah. He jumped all the way up into the top 14.
So disgusting.
Oh, that was fun. It was so random in the first season, but that was what I liked about it. Was just it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, I think like you miss a week, you have like 9 in your bonus pool, right? So like the way I'm thinking of that is you can design a way so that it's completely non-interactive, where you just look at the spreadsheet, and just you can add points on based on their performance on that week.
Yeah,
so like you would add a bonus pool.
And this is the cool thing. I don't know if we're going to be doing this at the end of this season, but usually what we like to do is at the end of every season send out kind of like a notice to everybody through email. Be like, hey, season ended, thank you for being a part of it, what are some things that we could try to do better? And if we got enough people to say the same thing, then it's finding a way to work that in, kind of like how you would do something for like testing software or whatever else it is. It's trying to cater everything to the league and be dynamic with it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you clearly have shown that you're comfortable with everything right now. How long have you been playing Pokemon?
Since November.
Really? You're that good? What'd you play before?
I played a little bit of Edison, but nothing much.
Nothing much before that? So what got you into cards?
I grew up with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, my parents, like, had a binder for me. Like,
were you more of a collector in the beginning?
Well, kind of. Like, I didn't really collect. I kind of just watched the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, the cards and everything else?
Well, there's like a big gap between when I had the cards when I was a kid, and then like they just got carried over, and then like I found them like 2 years ago or something, sort of deal.
I get it.
Yeah.
So then, how'd you get good?
I don't know.
Because I've known you since like December at this point.
Yeah.
So how'd you go from November starting to being basically first place in the league now? So safe to say you're pretty good.
I don't know. I'm just really competitive. So like, no, because like, I figured that once I started taking Pokemon seriously, I was like, because I was transitioning from Edison, and I was like, I need to find another card game. I need to like scratch this itch. Edison wasn't doing for me. Don't look at me like that.
No,
I love
not
Edison.
enough Lightsworn Mills.
I love Edison. It just doesn't have enough change. It's very stagnant. But basically, what was I going on? I forgot. Sorry.
How you got into game?
Yeah,
how you got so good?
Oh yeah, I would. So I found about Alive, and I grinded a fuckload of games to just practice over and over again. And I think that's how I got good. I just practiced.
That's fair. Were there any like people that you watched? Little Dark Fury, Andrew Mahone.
No,
like that.
I don't watch any YouTubers. No,
Yeah.
I just like what is it? Found deck lists and just tried them out and learned the decks pretty much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what's funny? I do feel like that is a big part that people don't realize is like learning your deck is one thing, but actually understanding the meta and other decks and how they interact with yours is such a large part of it. I feel like that's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing though.
Yeah.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh players, I've always felt like they're just so involved with that kind of stuff. Like Pokemon, because it's so much playing your turn.
Yeah.
Then reacting after your opponent does it, where Yu-Gi-Oh it's like back and forth, so you have to have like this cerebral understanding of all the interactions.
Yeah.
It kind of like helps you when it gets to Pokemon, because you kind of like see the game a different way.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, the entire idea of life points versus you know, prize cards and so on. Do you feel like that helped out? Be it that you started in Yu-Gi-Oh with Edison, and then jumping into this?
Yeah, well, I think there's aspects of both that are the same. Anticipating how your opponent can win, anticipating what they can do to you. But in Pokemon, I feel like, because with Edison, it's a lot more split decision making on the fly, pretty fast, right? With Pokemon, you can really map everything out and like the lines you have to take. So it's like a lot calmer than Yu-Gi-Oh in that sense. So I feel like it was a bit easier to adapt.
Yeah, that's what I got from it too. Like, be it someone that I started with Pokemon, and then they taught me Yu-Gi-Oh, starting with Goat, and then jumping into Edison. Like, it's funny going back to Pokemon now. I'm not saying that I'm a good player, because I'm not good at either game, but there is a different understanding of the game, and lines, and resource management, and so on, that really kind of helps out, like when to play certain things versus when to hold on to things. Deck thinning. Is deck winning. So clearly you've come in, you've dominated our league so far with this season. We're very happy to have you on about that. But with that comes the lay of the land and the other competition that's out there. Is there a trainer right now that you see, whether they're top 14 or even below there, that you feel is your biggest competition, be it that you're still kind of getting to know all of us in your own way?
Yeah, I think Carlo is probably the biggest competition. I don't have a good record against him. I feel like I'm just psyching myself out each time I play him. But I feel like he's the biggest threat at the moment. Obviously, Henry is up there as well. Haven't played against him though, so I don't know about him. I just know this guy glazes him like a donut. He's over there. Is like, oh yes, Henry Thompson. Oh, and then like I'm just like whatever. I don't know that guy.
Right.
Terrible.
He's a kid.
yeah, makes it worse.
So, but you feel like Carlo is the one that really kind of like.
Yeah, I feel like he's the one that is to watch out for.
What about him, besides the fact that you don't necessarily have a great record against him? What does he do that causes that? Is it the decks that he chooses versus what you typically like to play? Is it the style in which he plays?
So when he plays, it's very methodical. I can understand what he's doing and why he's doing his decision making at times. I feel like he's what's the word? I feel like he's good at the game. Like he understands it very well, but at the same time, he knows his deck very, very well. So I would say his deck knowledge of himself is like top tier. Like he knows his ins and outs, what his weaknesses are, and everything.
Oh, that's fair. I get that. T, who would you say is Phillip's biggest challenge?
So I would say currently his biggest challenge has to be Paul A specifically. Akabori. Mainly because Paul does well with plenty different decks. Raging Bolt, Roaring Moon, sometimes Pult. It was the one time.
Okay.
But Paul mainly does play the fast decks, so I feel like that gives him like a really good edge at locals, especially with some of us playing slower decks like Zard, Grimsnarl. Those fast decks can really just take advantage of slow starts. So, but also he's just a good guy.
Yeah, I think Paul's a good player. In terms of threat assessment, I don't really see him as a threat assessment. I used to a bit ago, but I think I've gotten used to his playstyle, and pretty much I've been able to figure out ways to counter it. So I think he can take games off of me. He's beaten me previously in the past a lot, but I feel like now, going forward, I kind of have the edge on him.
Interesting.
So, I'm going to bring somebody up. And I can tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of this person. As an individual, as a father, as a person, just not very good. Pokemon player-wise, though, I don't know. He's our only champion that's ever won not just the championship, but also the T. Watson Memorial Trophy. He won our Trainer Battle Trophy, and he won the Mid-Season Showdown, which a lot of you guys don't know about, was a pretty big thing for us back in the day, but is the only trainer to have done this. He's currently number 4 in the standings, and his name's Mike Moreno. Some know him as Mike, other people don't like him too. But with that being said, the guy plays a lot of really funny decks, but he's good at them. He has a lot of experience, and he's definitely methodical in his own way. A lot of times people look at him and say, look at this big goofy guy, huge head, beard that looks like Paul Bunyan, and he's like, what threat can he possibly be? But Mike is someone that has shown time and time again, he's very competitive, he's very smart. Regionals, he does a really great job. He made day 2 twice now? 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
3 times. I mean, the guy is probably one of the more underrated Pokemon players in our community. So, I feel like he would be someone where, be it that you're new and you don't have a lot of experience with all of us as much as a lot of us that have been playing together for a long time have, that guy is someone.
Yeah, I think Mike is actually... Yeah, he's pretty... he's pretty good. But I do feel like he does make mistakes a bit, which is what I can capitalize on when I do play against him. But I do believe overall he is pretty solid. And he does have... I would say he is pretty up there in terms of skill level.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, looking at the stats, it doesn't look like it so far, but I mean, I don't think there's been a season outside of season 3 where season 2, where Mike really was a points leader. Yeah. It's more of a grind for him. He just needs his ticket to be punched to get into the show. So once he gets there, that's when he wreaks havoc. I think it's been a couple of seasons where he didn't progress very far into the playoffs, but majority of the time he's usually at the top 4 or in the finals. So I feel like that's the guy. Paul, I don't know much about, so I don't want to speak too much on him. Carlo's good. It's not a knock on him. I know Carlo more from when we first started playing SPL, and he just tied more than anybody else.
Yeah,
like hands down more. And I just feel like Mike, with his pedigree, is the bigger threat out of the other two if we're looking at the top 14 as a whole. Henry Thompson definitely can be someone that's here, but once again, his commitment on being here on a regular basis is the thing that needs to change. Gervin can get hot randomly, but I mean, it really just depends on him. But Mike, that's the guy.
That's right.
At least for me. But with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up the first segment. When we get back from our little break, we're going to go ahead and look at T's tiers, which I know everybody is excited about that. So we'll catch you on the other side. Folks, as Sacramento slept last night, a clandestine committee convened. Picture it, a retired pro wrestler, a renowned pastry chef, and a local conspiracy theorist. They argued, they toiled, they all bled, all to forge the definitive, undeniable, and frankly terrifyingly accurate breakdown of the Sacramento Pokemon League standings. It's more than a list, it's a prophecy, it's an honor, it's a privilege, and frankly, quite a burden. It's time for T's Tiers. T, take it away.
Thank you for that intro.
Since the second time I did it.
This week's tiers, again, a lot of the same. Not a lot of movement in the standings this week, so let's just get to it. For Professor Oak's discard, we have Anthony Mariona and myself. We have Vince Sandoval. We have Michael Estrap. We have King Yang. And then both the Nugents, Caitlin and Mercedes. We're just...
Greg Green and AJ.
Oh, you're right. We have Ethan Gray Green and AJ. AJ hasn't shown up to anything. Neither have we.
Yeah. Don't believe in playing Pokemon in the SPL.
So, just not a lot of movement there in the standings. We're all kind of in the same spot. So, it kind of shows you why they're in the same tier. But for some movement, we have the Route 1 regulars. We have a new regular in Emmanuel Reynoso, Scott Brandow. We have Dagger. We have Andrew Saldana. We have Paul Johnson, Nathan Laswell, Alex Farnlocker, and then my boy Luis. Emmanuel being a newer face in the tier, mainly because he's started progressing well. I'm assuming he's just playing different decks. I haven't been to locals this week due to some other things, but I figure hopefully he's playing a better deck, and that's why he's moving up in the standings. So gotta give credit where credit is due there. Next in the Gym Badge Grinders, we have David Gervin. We have Luke Brandow, we have Arius Russell, and Audrey. Again, these are just trainers who grind, are always looking to get their 9 points, and are usually really successful at that. Next, we have our Elite 5. We have... I think it's Elite 4 now.
I can't count anymore, honestly. You can't count.
We have our Elite 4 now. We have Dylan Brandow, Paul Akabori, Will Hildebrandt, and Nick Gleason. Nick making his glorious return to SPL after a week off, going 4-0 at Fire and Ice. And we're hopefully giving Henry Thompson his first loss of the season. We cannot confirm nor deny that, but I like to think that's what happened.
I like to think it too.
Yeah. And then for our Mythical Masters, we have a new Mythical Master for today. We have Mike Moreno joining alongside Henry Thompson, Carlo DeCastro, and our very own special guest, Phillip Chao. You guys? How are we feeling?
I think I'm going to let Phil take the first one.
All right, so, man, I love Emmanuel. Really good guy. I like him a lot. Really? You pumped him up? I think he's a good player. I keep yelling at him and telling him to play good decks and stop playing weird shit. So, yeah, he's gotten better than the ones under him or where he was at before. I don't think. Not too much. I think because he's also he's new to Pokemon as well. Mm-hmm. So I think he's getting back into it, but not quite yet. He's a little bit more rusty, so needs to be worked out on him a little bit. And then I'll bump him. We'll see what happens this week. I might bump him up, but the council says no.
Okay. What about you?
Okay, so I like to tell you that the committee this week kind of missed the mark with everything. Not a lot of movers, not a lot of shakers. Everybody kind of stayed in their place. I see AJ did go down. I see Reynoso also went up. I also see a couple things. Mike once again slips into the top S tier of our tier, or this tier list, and I want to say that's my biggest gripe with this right now is you move. So okay, picture this with me: a world in which we actually rank people based off of performance, right? And you've told me time and time again that this isn't just rankings based off of placement, but it's a tavern.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah, it's a spectrum, or whatever you guys like to call it. I sit here in my mind and I'm trying to make sense of this, and how can someone sit there and go, okay, we have Phillip, we have DeCastro, and then we have Paul, all sitting there with 36 points and really nice win percentages. Mm-hmm. And then, something, for the hell of it, let's keep Paul out of the top tier. Let's bring Henry, who's 14th in the league, and let's move Mike up because, he's clearly not better than Paul right now. And this goes against what I kind of said in the last segment where I feel like Mike is still a threat. Yeah, I definitely believe that, but the fact is when you sit there and look at the proof is in the pudding, right? Yeah, I feel that's still a saying, right?
Yeah.
How do you how can you say that Mike and Henry both belong in A tier or S tier with this guy, and then you have DeCastro, but for some reason Akabori still sits in tier A or the Elite Four tier. I just feel like that portion is something that gets me, be it that he's new, Akabori's new, he's kicking butt, Akabori's kicking butt. They're split, but then we go, that kid that does pretty well, that's 14th, that's my guy. Please, just really quick, explain. Give me some insight.
When did Krispy Kreme hire you to start glazing? Like, honestly.
Well, look.
The guest star even notices. Yeah. He's only watched our show once.
Exactly. But, no. See, you have to understand that if Henry didn't take that week off to go to summer camp, he probably would have got 9 points again. And then he'd be right up there in the conversation with everybody else. And, I see that. I noticed that. The consecutive 5-0, 4-0s over at Fire and Ice, those mean something, especially in best of ones. You got to be at least decent to...
I thought they mean less because they're best of ones.
And this is the thing. As someone that is a fan of best of ones, I tried getting the league to be a best of one league. I'm not going to argue that, but what I'm going to say is, if we're going off of the idea of if Henry played last week or that week that he took off, if Henry did this, well, you know what? If I had a bill and feathers, I'd be a duck, but I'm not. That's not how it works. That's not how life is.
And then Mike's bump is because Mike
paid you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. This is multiple years of Mike always somehow finding his way into the top tier.
But Mike is currently 4th. And Mike has consistently played different decks so far. So I believe that shows some skill. And I think he should be rewarded for that. With the little push in the tiers.
I don't like it. I'm just saying, from what I get. What's your take on this?
Grimmsnarl and Raging Bolt. It's all things he's played.
And Ho-Oh Box.
He didn't do well with that, though.
He's still here.
Okay.
He's still here at 4th.
Okay, well, so by that reasoning, because Carl only plays Guardy.
Carlo played something different last week.
And he didn't do well with that one.
He's still...
Oh my god.
You see what I mean? He's still here.
These tiers don't even make sense sometimes when you just bring them up the way that you do. Like, for a little while, you were saying Elite 5 and there were only 4 people in it.
Ignore that.
That part I don't even get.
I'm gonna play a different deck every single day of the week.
Just to get that, just to get that point.
Yeah,
I mean, if anything, this guy should be in his own separate tier.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, you should get a
He's
point.
not that good.
Get a point for most decks. Most decks played.
Phil should be in his own separate tier.
I know I'm not that
He's
good.
Not that good.
Yeah. I just gotta. I'm still working. Still working on it.
Well, you know what? At this point, this is what they. I mean, when you talk about a coven of crazy people that you convene with to get all these lists going, I see why they come out the way that they do. But with that being said, we're gonna shut this one down for a second. We'll take it. We'll pick it up again next week. But after the break, we're gonna get into trainer medals and wrap this thing up. So, see you on the next. Back to wrap up the show. I want to say, thank you again to everybody who has followed and supported us. We are getting so much closer to Mr. Beast and his follower account every single time that we drop a video. So I appreciate that, guys. We're gonna catch them. That's gonna be what it is. But we want to go ahead and finish this thing out with something that's special to all of us. It's T's medal time. T, go ahead and handle your business.
All right, for our bronze medal this week, I want to congratulate Paul Johnson for yet another 9-point week, putting himself in 6th place. Again, he's a first-timer to the league, and he's starting to make a name for himself. I know he's been playing Joltic Box, I believe. What?
He's like a Goldango player.
He's a Goldango player now?
Yeah, he plays Dango Fusion. Yeah.
Ew, I thought he was playing Joltic Box. So that's why I saw him with the other time.
Never mind. You lose your bronze.
Never mind. No. But still, 6th place, being a newer face of the league. He also hasn't been playing very long, just like our very own Phil. So I want to congratulate him and present him with this bronze medal for this week. For our silver medal is the Titan Slayer, Nick Gleason.
I love Nick.
Probably beat Henry this week, so
that should get him in the middle right there.
Yeah, so we have to commend him. Also going for Fire and Ice, but it's likely because he beat Henry.
He's like one of my favorite people.
Same. He's a great player as well, and he loves the merch. So.
Yeah, no, that's what I say. Like when the league first started, when he first joined it, he was like, boom.
Yeah, everything.
Like, let's go get a tattoo. Like I love Nick. Go ahead, do your gold thing.
So want to present him with the silver medal for this week, because he is no slouch. He took a week off last week and then came back to go undefeated. And then last but not least, another undefeated person for this week, Carlo De Castro. So proud of you for not tying, not a single time this week. So you deserve your gold. Sitting there tied for first place with Phil. Yeah, congrats.
I don't know. I'm just going to say this. We have a special guest here that's in first place that has been kicking butt this entire season.
Medal. Yeah, I got the next level.
And he got a silver medal last week and not even an honorable mention this week. How does that make you feel?
That's crazy.
Phil?
That's crazy.
What was your beef with last week again?
Oh, yeah. I went 4-0 at Great Escape, 4-0 Skyscraper. You didn't even mention it. This guy doesn't even love me.
I'm still proud.
So you went 8-0 last week and you didn't even... And silver medal. D, I don't know what you've been smoking, but I want some. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Congratulations to all of our trainer medal winners for this week. We'll be back again next week with some more trainer medals for top performers and wow performances. Anyone that beats Henry clearly gets an automatic mention.
Absolutely.
For being there, so that's a huge one. Keep that in mind. But to jump into the updates and to wrap up the show, sounds like for this season, this is something that's even new to me. I didn't know this. Challenges are going to now count for points. So if you go to a challenge and you do well on a league day, then you earn those points, and that's pretty cool. I like that change. That's one that probably needed to happen, after the first couple of seasons. So great with that. I think the last thing would be just make sure, once again, that we're double checking our points every week.
Yep.
Just to make sure that everything was entered in correctly. Remember, we are humans, and we get tired from walking around Disneyland all the time. And we don't. Yeah, it doesn't have the best Wi-Fi there to put in our numbers and everything like that.
Yep.
So just let us know if anything comes up. Call Phil. He'll be anxiously waiting at the phone for anybody that wants to. But anything else we need to add?
No, Phil, thank you for joining us this week. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me. Still getting paid with league money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll Venmo you. But until then, guys, once again, thank you for joining us. For T, for myself, for Phil. We'll catch you guys all at Locals. Peace.